In the heart of New York City, where dreams are born and broken every day, we meet Lily, a young woman in her early 20s. Once full of hope and ambition, she now calls these unforgiving streets her home. Lily's most prized possession is a tarnished silver medallion hanging around her neck. It's more than just a piece of jewelry. It's a mystery, a clue to a lifelong forgotten, a silent promise of something more. Each day for Lily is a struggle for survival and a test of resilience. She navigates a routine of seeking out public restrooms to freshen up, stopping by local shelters for meager meals, and trying to earn whatever she can through odd jobs or the kindness of strangers. Despite the harsh realities of her life, Lily's eyes still hold a glimmer of determination that refuses to be extinguished. In a world that has shown her little mercy, she somehow manages to keep her heart open and her spirit unbroken. Lily's compassionate nature shines through in her interactions with other homeless individuals. She shares her meager earnings with an elderly man, helps a young mother with her children, and offers a kind word to a dejected teenager. As Lily settles down for the night in her usual spot, she's unaware that tomorrow will bring a turn of events that will challenge everything she knows about herself and the world around her. As dawn breaks over the city, Lily begins her usual morning routine. She's rummaging through a dumpster behind a high-end restaurant when a well-dressed man hurriedly exits the back door, speaking urgently into his phone. Yes, I know the invitations were supposed to go out yesterday. It's a disaster, he exclaims, clearly distressed. In his haste, he doesn't notice Lily. He pulls out a stack of elegant envelopes from his briefcase, fumbling with them as he tries to maintain his phone conversation. One envelope slips from his grasp, floating gently to the ground near Lily's feet. The man, still oblivious, rushes off to his waiting car. Lily, curious, picks up the fallen envelope. It's addressed to Miss Elizabeth Hawthorne and contains an invitation to an exclusive charity gala at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, scheduled for that very evening. Lily traces her fingers over the embossed lettering, mesmerized by the luxurious feel of the paper. For a moment, she allows herself to imagine a world where she could attend such an event. The invitation promises an evening of fine dining, music, and the company of New York's elite, all in the name of raising funds for children's education. As she contemplates what to do with the invitation, a small voice in her head whispers of opportunity. What if, just for one night, she could step into a different life? What if this is the chance she's been waiting for? Conflicted, Lily tucks the invitation into her worn jacket. She spends the day debating with herself, weighing the risks against the allure of experiencing something so far removed from her daily existence. As evening approaches, Lily makes a decision that will set in motion a chain of events she could never have anticipated. With a mix of trepidation and excitement, she decides to attend the gala, stepping into a world she's only ever observed from the outside. With the decision made to attend the gala, Lily faces her next challenge, preparing for an event far beyond her usual circumstances. She knows she can't simply walk into the Metropolitan Museum of Art in her current state. Determined, Lily puts her street smarts to use. She visits a local thrift store, using the little money she's saved to purchase a modest but elegant black dress. It's not designer, but with some creative alterations, she hopes it will pass muster. Next, she makes her way to a public library. There, she uses the computers to research proper etiquette for high society events. She practices her posture, practices using utensils correctly, and memorizes a few key phrases she thinks might be useful. As the day progresses, doubt begins to creep in. Lily questions her decision, wondering if she's making a terrible mistake. She touches her medallion, drawing strength from it as she always has in times of uncertainty. "What am I doing?" she whispers to herself. "I don't belong in that world." Despite her misgivings, something keeps pushing her forward. Perhaps it's curiosity, or maybe it's a deeper longing for connection to a world she feels she once knew. With trembling hands, Lily uses the library's restroom to clean up as best she can. She styles her hair simply but elegantly and applies a touch of makeup she managed to acquire from a kind cosmetics store employee who took pity on her story of a job interview. As evening falls, Lily stands outside the library, transformed as much as her limited resources allow. She looks down at the invitation in her hand. takes a deep breath, and hails a taxi, a luxury she's never before allowed herself. As the taxi weaves through the city streets towards the museum, Lily's heart races. She's entering a world entirely foreign to her, armed only with her wits, a borrowed identity, and the mysterious medallion that has been her constant companion through years on the street. Little does she know, this night will change the course of her life forever. As the taxi pulls up to the Metropolitan Museum of Art, Lily's breath catches in her throat. The grand entrance is adorned with twinkling lights and elegant decorations. A red carpet stretches from the curb to the doors, lined with photographers and curious onlookers. Lily hesitates for a moment before stepping out of the taxi. She takes a deep breath, straightens her posture, and walks towards the entrance with as much confidence as she can muster. Her heart pounds so loudly, she's sure everyone can hear it. At the door, a smartly dressed attendant asks for her invitation. With slightly trembling hands, Lily presents the envelope. "Miss Elizabeth Hawthorne," the attendant announces, checking her name off the list. Lily nods, trying to embody the persona she's adopted for the night. As she enters the grand hall, Lily is overwhelmed by the opulence surrounding her. Crystal chandeliers cast a warm glow over the room, their light reflecting off the polished marble floors. The air is filled with the soft murmur of conversation, punctuated by the delicate clink of champagne glasses. Lily cautiously makes her way through the crowd, taking in the sights and sounds. She observes the other guests. Women in designer gowns dripping with jewels, men in impeccably tailored suits engaged in what seems like important conversation. A waiter passes by with a tray of champagne flutes. Lily takes one, more to have something to do with her hands than out of any desire to drink. She sips it slowly, savoring the unfamiliar taste of luxury. As she wanders through the event, Lily overhears snippets of conversation about art acquisitions, stock portfolios, and upcoming galas. She feels increasingly out of place, acutely aware of the vast gulf between her daily reality and this world of privilege. Despite her discomfort, Lily is captivated by the artwork on display. She finds herself drawn to a particular painting, losing herself in its colors and brushstrokes. For a moment, she forgets her anxiety, simply appreciating the beauty before her. However, her reprieve is short-lived. As she turns away from the painting, she locks eyes with one of the event organizers. The woman's brow furrows slightly, as if trying to place Lily's face. In that moment, Lily realizes that her charade might be on the verge of unraveling, and her evening of magic could come to an abrupt and humiliating end. As Lily navigates through the gala, she experiences a whirlwind of emotions. The grandeur of the event continues to amaze her at every turn. Exquisite floral arrangements adorn every table, their fragrance mingling with the scent of expensive perfumes. The sounds of a string quartet float through the air, providing a sophisticated backdrop to the evening's conversations. Lily finds herself both dazzled and overwhelmed. She marvels at the intricate detailing on the gowns of the women around her, the shine of polished cufflinks on the men's wrists. Every aspect of the event speaks of a world so far removed from her daily existence that it almost feels like a dream. However, beneath her awe, a persistent discomfort gnaws at her. Lily is acutely aware of her otherness in this setting. Despite her best efforts with her thrift store dress and borrowed manners, she feels like an imposter. Every glance in her direction seems to carry the weight of judgment, as if at any moment someone will point and declare her a fraud. Lily overhears conversations about summer homes in the Hamptons, private jets, and exclusive social clubs. The casual way these topics are discussed only serves to highlight the vast chasm between her world and theirs. She struggles to maintain her composure, to act as if she belongs, all while feeling increasingly out of place. In an attempt to blend in, Lily tries to engage in small talk with a nearby group. However, when asked about her family's business ventures, she stumbles, providing vague answers that raise eyebrows. Her lack of knowledge about the latest social events and her unfamiliarity with the names dropped in conversation begin to draw curious looks. As the evening progresses, Lily's initial excitement gives way to a growing anxiety. She finds herself constantly touching her medallion for reassurance, a gesture that doesn't go unnoticed by some of the more observant guests. The weight of her deception begins to press heavily upon her, and she wonders how long she can maintain this charade. Just as Lily considers making an early exit, she overhears a conversation that catches her attention. Two men are discussing the charity the gala is supporting, an organization dedicated to providing education and opportunities for underprivileged youth. For a moment, Lily feels a connection to the event's purpose, remembering her own lost opportunities and the children she's met on the streets. This moment of connection, however, is short-lived. As Lily turns to move away, she accidentally bumps into a waiter, causing a tray of hors d'oeuvres to clatter to the floor. All eyes turn to her, and in that moment of scrutiny, Lily feels her carefully constructed facade begin to crumble. As the echoes of the fallen tray fade away, a hush falls over the nearby guests. Lily's face burns with embarrassment as she kneels to help the waiter clean up the mess. In her flustered state, she forgets to maintain her carefully practiced posture and mannerisms. It's at this moment that the event organizer, who had been eyeing Lily earlier, approaches. Her heels click sharply on the marble floor as she draws near, a look of determination on her face. "Excuse me, miss," the organizer says, her voice crisp and professional. "May I have a word with you?" Lily's heart races as she straightens up, nodding mutely. The organizer leads her to a quiet corner of the room, away from prying eyes and ears. "I don't mean to be rude," the organizer begins, "but I'm having trouble placing you. You're here as Elizabeth Hawthorne, correct?" Lily nods again, her throat too dry to speak. The organizer's brow furrows. "That's curious because I personally know Elizabeth Hawthorne, and you're certainly not her." Lily's world seems to tilt on its axis. She opens her mouth to speak, but no words come out. "I don't know how you obtained that invitation," the organizer continues, her tone growing stern, "but I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to leave. We can't have uninvited guests at an event of this caliber." As the reality of the situation sinks in, Lily feels a mix of shame and panic. Her brief escape into this world of luxury and refinement is crumbling around her. She looks around desperately, searching for an escape route, acutely aware of the stares from nearby guests who have begun to notice the tense conversation. "I'm sorry," Lily finally manages to whisper, her voice trembling. "I didn't mean any harm. I found the invitation and I thought." The organizer's expression softens slightly at Lily's obvious distress, but her resolve remains firm. "I understand, but rules are rules. I'll have to escort you out now." As the organizer gently but firmly takes Lily's arm to lead her towards the exit, Lily feels her dream evening transform into a nightmare. She's about to be thrust back onto the cold streets, leaving behind the warmth and beauty of the gala. But fate, it seems, has one more twist in store for Lily. As they make their way across the room, an elderly gentleman steps into their path, his eyes fixed on the medallion hanging around Lily's neck. The elderly gentleman, dressed in an impeccably tailored suit, raises his hand to halt their progress. His eyes, sharp and alert despite his age, remain fixed on Lily's medallion. "Wait," he says, his voice carrying an authority that makes both Lily and the event organizer pause. "Young lady, where did you get that medallion?" Lily's hand instinctively goes to the piece of jewelry, her fingers curling protectively around it. I've always had it," she stammers, confusion evident in her voice. The gentleman steps closer, his gaze intense. "May I?" he asks, gesturing towards the medallion. Hesitantly, Lily nods, allowing him to examine it more closely. The event organizer watches the exchange with a mix of curiosity and impatience. As the gentleman studies the medallion, his eyes widen in recognition. "This is impossible," he murmurs. "I haven't seen one of these in over 2 decades." He looks up at Lily, his expression a mix of wonder and disbelief. "This medallion belongs to the Hawthorne family. It's a rare heirloom, passed down through generations. The last time I saw one was on the neck of my dear friend Richard Hawthorne, before he and his wife." The gentleman's voice trails off, and he scrutinizes Lily's face more closely. "Good heavens," he whispers. "You have Catherine's eyes." The event organizer, now thoroughly confused, interjects. "Sir, what are you suggesting?" The elderly gentleman straightens up, his demeanor suddenly formal. "I'm suggesting, madam, that we may have made a grave error. This young woman, whoever she may be, is clearly connected to the Hawthorne family in some way." He turns back to Lily, his voice gentle. "My dear, what's your name?" "Lily," she responds, her voice barely above a whisper. "Just Lily. I don't know my last name." The gentleman nods slowly, as if pieces of a puzzle are falling into place. "Lily," he repeats. "Short for Lillian, perhaps?" Lillian was the name Richard and Catherine had chosen if they ever had a daughter. A hush has fallen over the nearby guests, all attention now focused on this unfolding drama. Lily stands frozen, her mind reeling from the implications of the gentleman's words. The event organizer, sensing the gravity of the situation, addresses the gentleman. "Sir, what do you propose we do?" The elderly man places a comforting hand on Lily's shoulder. "First, I believe we owe this young lady an apology. And then, if she's willing, I think we have quite a lot to discuss." As Lily looks from the gentleman to the now apologetic organizer, she realizes that her world is about to change in ways she could never have imagined when she picked up that dropped invitation. The medallion, her constant companion and source of comfort, may hold the key to unlocking the mystery of her past and potentially her future. As the commotion settles, the elderly gentleman, who introduces himself as William Blackwood, longtime friend of the Hawthorne family, leads Lily to a quiet corner of the gala. The event organizer, now fully aware of the delicate situation, ensures they have privacy. "Lily," William begins, his voice gentle, "I believe you may be the long-lost daughter of Richard and Catherine Hawthorne. They were dear friends of mine, and their disappearance over 2 decades ago shook our entire community." Lily listens, her heart pounding, as William recounts the story. Richard and Catherine were prominent figures in New York's high society, known for their philanthropy and business acumen. They had been trying to have a child for years, and finally, Catherine became pregnant. They were overjoyed. William's eyes mist over with the memory. But then, tragedy struck. When Catherine was 8 months pregnant, they both disappeared without a trace. There was an extensive search, but no bodies were ever found. It was as if they had vanished into thin air. He looks at Lily intently. There were rumors, whispers of foul play related to one of Richard's business deals gone wrong, but nothing was ever proven. Lily's mind reels as she tries to process this information. "But how did I end up on the streets? Why doesn't anyone know about me?" William shakes his head sadly. "That, my dear, is the mystery. The police found no evidence of a child. We all assumed that if Catherine had given birth, the child had been lost with them. But now, seeing you with that medallion..." He gently touches the medallion. "This was a Hawthorne family heirloom. Catherine always wore it. The fact that you have it, coupled with your age and your resemblance to Catherine, it's too much to be mere coincidence." Lily's hand trembles as she touches the medallion. "I've always had this. It's the only thing I have from before. I don't remember anything about my early years. My first memories are of the orphanage and then the streets." William nods thoughtfully. "It's possible that whoever was responsible for your parents' disappearance didn't know about you. Perhaps you were found and taken to an orphanage without anyone realizing your true identity." As the weight of these revelations settles on Lily, she feels a mix of emotions: shock, grief for the parents she never knew, and a glimmer of hope for answers she's always sought. William places a comforting hand on her shoulder. "Lily, I know this is overwhelming, but if what we suspect is true, you are the heir to the Hawthorne family. This changes everything." Lily looks around the gala, at the world of wealth and privilege that had seemed so foreign just hours ago. She realizes that this might be the world she was born into, a world she was meant to be a part of. As the reality of her situation sinks in, Lily faces a new set of questions. Who is she really? What happened to her parents? And how will this revelation change her life? William, seeing the turmoil in her eyes, squeezes her hand reassuringly. "Don't worry, my dear. We'll figure this out together. For now, let's rejoin the gala. I have some calls to make and some old friends who will be very interested in meeting you." With that, Lily takes a deep breath and prepares to face the crowd, no longer as an intruder, but as potentially one of their own, the long-lost Hawthorne heir. As William and Lily return to the main area of the gala, a palpable shift in the atmosphere becomes evident. Word of Lily's potential identity has spread quickly through the crowd, transforming the way the other guests perceive her. The same people who had earlier regarded Lily with suspicion or indifference now look at her with intense curiosity and newfound respect. Whispers and pointed glances follow her as she moves through the room, the name Hawthorne on everyone's lips. William, sensing Lily's discomfort, takes on the role of a protective guardian. He skillfully navigates the social waters, fielding questions and managing introductions. "Ladies and gentlemen," he announces to a small gathering, "while we don't have all the answers yet, we have reason to believe that this young woman may indeed be Lillian Hawthorne, daughter of Richard and Catherine." The revelation sends ripples of excitement and shock through the crowd. Guests who had previously ignored Lily now clamor to introduce themselves. "My dear, I knew your parents well," an elegantly dressed older woman says, clasping Lily's hands. "Catherine was one of my dearest friends. You have her eyes, you know." A distinguished-looking man in his 50s approaches next. "Richard and I were at Harvard together. If you are indeed his daughter, please know that you have friends here." Lily, still reeling from the revelations about her past, finds herself at the center of attention. She struggles to respond to the flood of well-wishes and recollections of parents she never knew. The event organizer, who had earlier tried to remove Lily from the gala, now hovers nearby, profusely apologetic and eager to make amends. "Miss Hawthorne, please let me know if there's anything at all I can do for you," she offers, her tone dramatically different from earlier. As the evening progresses, Lily observes how quickly the social dynamics have changed. The same people who had made her feel out of place now treat her as if she's royalty. It's a stark reminder of the power of name and status in this world. Despite the overwhelming attention, Lily can't help but feel a sense of irony. Just hours ago, she was invisible to these people, another faceless individual on the streets. Now, with the possibility of a prestigious name attached to her, she's suddenly worthy of their time and interest. William, noticing Lily's conflicted expression, leans in and whispers, "It's a lot to take in, isn't it? Remember, you don't owe anyone here anything. Take your time." As Lily nods gratefully to William, she realizes that while her circumstances may have changed dramatically, the person she is, the kind, resilient young woman shaped by years of hardship, remains the same. She takes a deep breath, straightens her posture, and prepares to face this new world with the strength and dignity she's cultivated through years on the streets. The gala continues around her, but now Lily is no longer a spectator. She's become an integral part of the event, her presence adding an unexpected layer of intrigue and excitement to the evening. As she navigates this sudden change, Lily knows that her life will never be the same again. As the gala transitions into the dinner portion of the evening, Lily finds herself seated at the head table with William and several other prominent guests. The table setting is exquisite, with fine china, crystal glasses, and more utensils than Lily has ever seen in one place. William, sensing her nervousness, quietly guides her through the proper use of each utensil as the courses are served. Despite her best efforts to remember her earlier etiquette research, Lily is grateful for his discreet assistance. As the meal progresses, the conversation around the table naturally turns to Lily and her extraordinary story. The guests, a mix of business tycoons, socialites, and philanthropists, are eager to learn more about the potential Hawthorne heir. A silver-haired woman leans in, her eyes twinkling with curiosity. "Lily, dear, tell us, what was life like for you before tonight? We're all dying to know." Lily hesitates, unsure how to describe her experiences on the streets to this group of privileged individuals. She decides on honesty. "It was challenging," she begins. "I've been homeless for several years. Each day was a struggle for survival." A hush falls over the table. The guests exchange uncomfortable glances, clearly unprepared for such a stark reality. William intervenes smoothly. "Lily's story is a testament to her strength and resilience. The Hawthorne spirit, if you will." This comment sparks a new line of conversation. An older gentleman speaks up. "I remember when Richard Hawthorne started his first company. He built it from nothing. Perhaps Lily has inherited more than just his looks." As the dinner continues, Lily finds herself opening up more about her experiences. She speaks about the kindness she's encountered on the streets, the sense of community among those with nothing, and her dreams of making a difference. Her words have a profound effect on the guests. Many of them, who have lived lives of privilege, are moved by Lily's perspective and her lack of bitterness despite her hardships. A well-known philanthropist at the table turns to Lily. You know, your parents were passionate about helping underprivileged youth. It seems you have firsthand experience that could be invaluable in continuing their work. As the conversation flows, Lily begins to see glimpses of the world her parents inhabited. She hears stories about their generosity, their business acumen, and their love for each other. These tales paint a picture of the life she might have had and the legacy she might now be part of. However, the evening is not without its uncomfortable moments. Some guests make insensitive comments, displaying their ignorance about life on the streets. Lily handles these with grace, gently educating them rather than taking offense. As the dinner nears its end, William raises his glass. To Lily, he says, who has shown us tonight that the Hawthorne legacy of strength, compassion, and resilience lives on. The table joins in the toast, and Lily feels a mix of emotions: gratitude for the acceptance, determination to honor her newfound heritage, and a lingering uncertainty about what the future holds. As the guests begin to disperse for the evening's final events, Lily realizes that this dinner has been more than just a meal. It's been her introduction to a world she never knew existed, and possibly her first step towards reclaiming her true identity. As the gala begins to wind down, Lily finds herself approached by various guests, and each eager to offer assistance or discuss potential opportunities. The realization of who she might be has opened doors that were previously firmly shut. A distinguished woman in her 60s introduces herself as the dean of a prestigious university. Lily, if you're interested in furthering your education, we would be honored to have you at our institution. I'm sure we can arrange a scholarship in your parents' name. Before Lily can fully process this offer, a well-known businessman steps forward. Miss Hawthorne, your father was a brilliant entrepreneur. If you have any interest in the business world, I'd be more than happy to offer you an internship at my company. We could use someone with your unique perspective. William, ever present and protective, helps Lily navigate these conversations. He jots down contact information and politely deflects any pressure for immediate decisions. A prominent lawyer approaches next. Lily, I was your father's attorney for many years. If you'd like, I can help you navigate the legal aspects of reclaiming your identity and any potential inheritance. Pro bono, of course, out of respect for Richard. The offers continue to pour in: invitations to exclusive social events, proposals for charity collaborations, and even a few thinly veiled attempts at gaining favor with the potential Hawthorne heir. Amidst this flurry of opportunities, a kind-faced woman who runs a homeless shelter catches Lily's attention. Your story has touched many hearts tonight, Lily. If you're interested, we'd love to have you speak to some of our youth. Your journey could inspire hope in those who need it most. This offer resonates deeply with Lily, reminding her of her own struggles and the people she left behind on the streets. As the evening draws to a close, Lily finds herself holding a stack of business cards and feeling overwhelmed by the possibilities before her. The world that once seemed so far out of reach is now opening its arms to her. William, noticing her slightly dazed expression, gently guides her to a quiet corner. Remember, Lily, you don't have to decide anything tonight. Take your time to process everything. These opportunities will still be here tomorrow. Lily nods gratefully, clutching the business cards like lifelines to a new future. She realizes that while these offers represent incredible opportunities, they also come with expectations and responsibilities she's never had to consider before. As she prepares to leave the gala, Lily finds herself at a crossroads. The path ahead is filled with potential, but it's also fraught with uncertainties. She knows that whatever choices she makes will not only affect her life, but potentially impact many others as well. With a mix of excitement and trepidation, Lily steps out of the museum and into the cool night air, leaving behind the glittering world of the gala, but carrying with her the promise of a new beginning. In the days following the gala, Lily finds herself in a state of emotional turmoil. She's temporarily staying in a hotel suite arranged by William, a stark contrast to her life on the streets. As she sits by the window, looking out at the city she once navigated for survival, she grapples with the magnitude of the changes in her life. On one hand, the possibility of reclaiming her identity as Lillian Hawthorne offers a world of opportunities. Education, career prospects, financial security, all the things she had only dreamed of are now within reach. The chance to learn about her parents and connect with her family history is enticing, filling a void she's carried for years. Yet Lily can't shake a sense of unease. The world of wealth and privilege she's been thrust into feels foreign and sometimes overwhelming. She worries about losing touch with the person she's become, the resilient, street-smart young woman who survived against all odds. Lily thinks about the people she left behind on the streets, the elderly man she used to share her meager earnings with, the young mother she helped. She wonders if embracing this new life means turning her back on that community. There's also the pressure of living up to the Hawthorne name. Stories of her parents' accomplishments and generosity weigh heavily on her. Lily questions whether she can meet the expectations that come with her newfound status. As she sifts through the business cards and offers from the gala, Lily feels torn. The opportunity to make a real difference, to use her unique experiences to help others in similar situations, is appealing, but she also fears being used as a token or losing her authenticity in this new world. Lily touches her medallion, her link to both her past and her potential future. She realizes that accepting her identity as Lillian Hawthorne doesn't mean she has to forget who she is or where she came from. Perhaps, she thinks, there's a way to bridge these two worlds. She begins to envision a path where she could use her new resources and connections to make a meaningful impact on the issues of homelessness and poverty she knows so intimately. But the question remains, can she navigate this complex new world without losing herself in the process? As night falls over the city, Lily knows she's facing the most significant decision of her life. Whatever choice she makes will define not just her future, but potentially the lives of many others. With this realization, she begins to formulate a plan, one that she hopes will allow her to honor both her past and her newfound legacy. After days of intense reflection, Lily reaches a decision that she believes will honor both her past and her newfound identity. She arranges a meeting with William and several key individuals she met at the gala, including the lawyer, the philanthropist, and the woman who runs the homeless shelter. In a conference room overlooking the city, Lily presents her vision. "I've decided to accept my identity as Lillian Hawthorne," she begins, her voice steady with newfound confidence. "But I want to use this opportunity to make a real difference." She outlines a plan to establish a foundation dedicated to addressing homelessness and providing opportunities for underprivileged youth. "I want to combine the Hawthorne resources with my first-hand experience of life on the streets," she explains. "We can create programs that truly understand and address the needs of those struggling with homelessness." Her proposal includes educational initiatives, job training programs, and a network of support services. She also expresses her desire to continue her own education, accepting the university dean's offer, but with a focus on social work and nonprofit management. The response to Lily's plan is overwhelmingly positive. The lawyer offers to handle the legal aspects of setting up the foundation, while the philanthropist pledges support and connections. The shelter director is moved to tears, seeing the potential impact of Lily's vision. William, beaming with pride, adds, "This is exactly the kind of initiative your parents would have loved, Lily. You're honoring their legacy while forging your own path." As the meeting concludes, Lily feels a sense of purpose she's never experienced before. She's found a way to bridge her two worlds, using her new status and resources to directly impact the community she came from. The consequences of her decision quickly begin to unfold. 1. Media attention. Lily's story captures public interest, bringing attention to issues of homelessness and social inequality. 2. Family connections. Distant relatives of the Hawthornes come forward, helping Lily piece together more of her family history. 3. Challenges. Lily faces a steep learning curve as she navigates the world of nonprofit management and high society, but her street smarts prove invaluable. 4. Personal growth. As she pursues her education and leads the foundation, Lily develops new skills while maintaining her compassionate perspective. 5. Inspiring others. Lily's journey inspires other wealthy individuals to take a more active role in addressing social issues. 6. Controversy. Some question Lily's qualifications, but she uses the criticism to fuel her determination to succeed. As months pass, Lily's foundation begins to make a real impact. She's often seen on the streets, personally involved in outreach programs. Her unique background allows her to connect with those she's helping in a way that traditional charities often can't. Lily hasn't forgotten her roots. She maintains relationships with her friends from the streets, many of whom now benefit from her foundation's programs. She's become a bridge between two worlds, using her extraordinary journey to create positive change. As she stands on a podium, preparing to speak at the opening of a new shelter funded by her foundation, Lily touches her medallion. She's no longer just surviving, she's thriving and helping others do the same. In finding her past, she secured a meaningful future, not just for herself, but for countless others. 1 year has passed since the fateful night of the gala that changed Lily's life forever. As she stands in front of a mirror, adjusting the same medallion that led to the discovery of her true identity, Lily reflects on the whirlwind journey of the past year. The Hawthorne Foundation for Hope and Opportunity, Lily's brainchild, has become a beacon of change in the city. Under her leadership, the foundation has opened 3 new shelters, implemented a successful job training program, and launched a scholarship fund for underprivileged youth. Lily's dual perspective, her experiences on the streets combined with her newfound position in high society, has proven invaluable. She's become a powerful advocate, able to speak the language of both worlds and bridge the gap between them. Her education is progressing well. Lily's professors often comment on how her unique life experiences enrich class discussions and challenge traditional perspectives on social issues. The media has dubbed her the Cinderella of social change, a title Lily finds both flattering and slightly uncomfortable. She's used her public platform to shed light on the realities of homelessness and poverty, forcing society to confront issues often swept under the rug. Despite her success, Lily hasn't forgotten where she came from. Every week, she volunteers at soup kitchens and shelters, not as a figurehead, but as a worker, maintaining her connection to the community she once called home. Her personal life has seen changes too. Lily has formed a close bond with William, who's become a father figure and mentor. She's also reconnected with distant relatives, slowly piecing together her family history and finding a sense of belonging she never had before. However, the transition hasn't been without challenges. Lily sometimes struggles with imposter syndrome, questioning her place in this new world. She's had to learn to navigate complex social and political landscapes, often feeling out of her depth. But with each challenge, she's grown stronger and more confident. As Lily prepares for another day of balancing foundation work, studies, and public appearances, she catches her reflection in the mirror. She sees not just Lillian Hawthorne, heir to a fortune, but also Lily, the street-smart survivor. The two identities have merged into a powerful force for change. Touching her medallion one last time, Lily smiles. The gala may have been the catalyst, but it was her decision to embrace both aspects of herself that truly transformed her life. She steps out into the world, ready to continue her mission of bridging two worlds and creating opportunities for those who need them most. As she walks down the street, Lily passes a young homeless woman. Their eyes meet, and Lily sees a reflection of her past self. With a nod of understanding and a warm smile, Lily is reminded once again of why she does what she does. Her journey has come full circle, and she's determined to keep pushing forward, changing lives one day at a time.